Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Sean's Mapping or the Sultanate Empire. And if you have not seen episode 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, I suggest you go check it out. This is now episode 6 of What If Civilization Started Over. And in if you again did not see episode 5, I suggest you go check it out. Otherwise, you're not going to understand what happened to Greece or the Orange team and why Turkey is independent. So I really much suggest you go check it out. Now in episode 5, there was a lot of war. So in today's episode, we're going to watch as pretty much almost all the countries that can expand will be expanding. So, also in the last episode, I showed off the uh, power ranking and population up here in the corner. At the start of every video, I will be showing this off, so if something happens in the previous video, the power rankings may change. That depends if it involves the 5 major powers of the world currently, and also the population. In the last episode, there was a lot of fighting, so the world population was affected. Around 450 people died in the Orange and Greece War, around 400 people, dropping the population from 20,701 to 20,251. The orange team remains the number one power, the light blue team number two, and with the fall of Greece, the Caspian Sea country went from number 4 to number 3. The dark red country now being organized and united and consolidated now takes the position of number 4. They pass up the Anatolian country once again due to the fact that the Anatolian country is fairly small compared to the dark red country, and the dark red country does own pretty much all of the land to the previous red team, which was the number one power in the world. Now, the orange team is still stronger than them, and that is pretty much it. Now, in the last episode, like I said, we saw the peace conference and the ending of the Orange Team and Greece war that started in episode 3. So I suggest you go check that out to get a better understanding of why it is like this. Now, the first thing we will be seeing is the Carthaginian country, this country right here, is going to be expanding into Iberia more instead of going into the African area some more. They're going to notice that Iberia is way better than Africa, and they're going to begin to expand into Africa like so. Or into Iberia like so, sorry. Sorry if I sound a little weird. I am a little sick. It has been raining lately where I live, so I'm coming down with a little bit of a cold. So please do excuse my voice. I will try my best not to cough or clear my voice into the mic. So again, I am sorry for that. But they kind of expand pretty much along the coast. They don't really go that far inland. They just kind of stick to the coastal areas of Iberia. They don't go too far inland, but they pretty much are able to take all of this area down here like so. And eventually they take all of that and they stop expanding. Oh, and one more thing, there are two more layers that I have created. The first layer is a alliance layer. We have our very first alliance of this series, and that is the light blue team's alliance and the Caspian Sea team, who are now allies with one another. So if anyone declares war on them, the other one will join. But they are quite far away from each other. They do not have a sea border or a land border connecting each other up. But we do see that the dark red team is for some reason dancing around the idea of joining this, even though they just changed the red team government. But that is one of the new additions to the layer. And we also have a religion layer now. I also finished up the religion layer and added it. So this is the religions that we currently have. We of course have the red religion, which is pretty much all over here in this area. We have the orange team religion, and we have an orange team splinter religion. We have the Greece religion, and we have the Anatolian religion alongside the Caspian Sea religion. Now, if you notice up here in Ukraine, they are a mix of the Anatolian and the Greek. That is because the people that founded this country were a mix of Greek and Anatolian explorers. And down here, the reason the blue team has three different religions inside of them is because they were founded by people from the Caspian Sea country, the orange team and the red team, so they are a religious hellhole. So we may see something happen there, and well, Ukraine may not stay together forever, especially if they don't get their religion sorted out. But, anyways, away from that and on to the expansion. Another country that we see expanding is Italy. Italy decides to expand and they go around the Alps, which should be somewhere around here, should be like right there. I'm gonna go on a whim and say it's right there. And the new green country also begins to explore and expand into Europe, some more as well. And they reach pretty much around here when they decide that they're going to stop expanding, or well, exploring. They then begin to expand and take territory because the Italian peninsula is completely filled with the Carthaginian country taking Sicily and the very tip of the Italian loop. Now they continue to expand up here like so into all of these regions that they explored like that, and then that is where they stop their expansion. Now we're going to see the creation of two new countries in today's video. We also see the this green country right here that splintered away from the um, Greeks expand as well up into territory they have explored. And they don't stop exploring, they keep exploring and expanding at the same time. So they reach about right here when they stop their exploration. And this is where they stop their expansion. Now, this country right here, which is fairly small, also continues to kind of expand and explore like so. And they make it to right about here before they stop exploration. And well, they do begin to expand, just like all of the other countries. But the other countries, unlike the other countries, this country, like I said, is fairly small and doesn't have the like money to kind of expand as well as the other ones. So we see them expand, but they don't take a lot of land that they explored, which leaves it to, get grabbed by other countries. They expand to right there. Now we see also the Ukrainian country begin their exploration and expansion. They explore again just northward because they want to be more northern, and the Ukrainian country is slowly but surely rising in the ranks. I would say right now they're probably number 6, and they could very well become number 3, number 4 very quickly if they don't lose any land in a war or collapse in a civil war, of course. Now, even though we are doing expansion in this video, I do plan to have 1 or 2 wars. So there will be a war when, well, you have to keep watching the video to find out. But the expansion is eventually over as the Ukrainians finish exploring. They then begin to expand their territory. And their expansion then goes like so. They take more territory in the northern area, and the last time they expanded, they cut off the Anatolian country from any more expansion up north, and they get fairly big and become quite a big country. Uh, Actually, they become probably the biggest country on this map. And, well, this may change the power rankings if nothing happens to them in this video. Especially considering about a year passes, I would say, in between videos. 1 year would pass in between videos. We see explorers from the green team over here and Italy kind of break away from Italy and the green team as they decide to set up their own government right over here. Kind of setting up like a French slash German country right here, since this area over here I do believe belonged to France, and this area over here I do believe belonged to Germany. With Switzerland being right here in the middle alongside a small bit of um I was about to say Australia. Austria. But these guys also explore this area because they want to expand and get bigger so they're not gobbled up by their bigger neighbors. And they keep expanding and exploring, and then they end their expansion pretty much right about here. And this is where they take all of this, of course. And we also come over here to the Caspian Sea country, who, after losing territory over here to the Anatolian country, does begin to explore and expand because they realize that there is always a possibility they will lose the war and land if they do lose said war. So they decide that they're going to take land by exploring, as one, it is cheaper, and two, it is less life threatening. Now, of course, people still die because I mean it is exploration into unknown areas, so there will be things they have never seen before. So they will, have some explorers die, but not too many if they went to war. So after exploring, they decide to expand, and they pretty much take a good chunk of territory. They take that entire lake right there, and they pretty much take all of this territory right here, which then goes to them. Now we see our first war taking place, and well, right after expanding, about 12 months after expanding, the Anatolian country goes right to war with the Caspian Sea country as they want their land, or the Caspian Sea country goes to war with the Anatolian country. God, they want their land back that, well, the Anatolian country took from them, because the Caspian Sea country actually owned the entirety of the Caspian Sea coastline. Again, if you have not seen the videos with them controlling everything, I suggest you go check that out because they did lose this in a war in episode 3, actually, which was the collapse of the Red Team. Now, they continue their push, and I mean, it's not easy for them, they're not destroying the Anatolian country in like 5 days. It's taking a while for that to happen, as well. The Anatolian country is number 5, but they're number 3, so they're much stronger. We also see the Ukrainian country actually get in on this war, so they want land, so they actually join the Caspian Sea country and attacking the Anatolian country. Now, the Anatolian country and the Ukrainian country never had that good of relations due to the fact that the Ukrainian country cut them off. And then also, another country that joins in on this war is the Turkish country, which actually invades into the Anatolian country to gain more land. And, well, they take the capital and the rest of the land that remains. And now we will see the peace treaty of Iran. Because, like I said in the previous video, or if I didn't say it, I'll say it here, a peace treaty is held in a country that is neutral, that is nearby to where the war took place. The dark red team was thinking about joining the war but decided against it. The orange team just got out of the war, so they wouldn't be a good idea. Ukraine was involved, Turkey and Caspia was involved, so they decided to hold the Iranian Accord, which is basically the peace treaty to split up and divide the Anatolian country. So, we do see the division take place. The Anatolian country is divided up, and essentially, we have the Caspian Sea country taking all of this territory down here. And they do get a little more from the Turkish areas that were occupied and also the areas controlled by the Ukrainians. Now, the reason they get so much land is because this goes to them, but we do see our very first puppet of the series, as the Anatolian government, instead of being destroyed by the gold team, is actually turned into a gold team puppet state, with them retaining all of this land up here in the northern area. So the gold team has their very first puppet, and it's actually the first puppet of the series. And they pretty much get the Ukrainian land that the gold team, or that the Caspian Sea country asked for. They get that land. I'm just finishing this up right here. And the Ukrainians aren't happy, but they're not mad at it because they got the major cities and that's really all they care about. And Turkey isn't mad because they didn't lose a lot of land and they also didn't lose any important land as they got the capital. And well, the orange team isn't happy that they are not the first ones with a puppet. But they can't really do anything because they are still in the process of moving their capital from right here in the Egyptian or in the Suez Canal area. As the purple team, which is still one of the weakest countries in the world, well, probably not. It would probably be one of the newer countries that were created, of course. But they are one of the weakest countries in the world currently that defeated the orange team in the last video. And again, if you want context to this, and again, all of this up here, then I suggest you go check out episode 5 because that is when all of that happens. And if you also want context for what happened here in the red team, go check out episode 3. But let us continue with the exploration and expansion. As we do see the Iranian team, which was bullied in episode 3 during the Red Revolution, they explore alongside the Dark Red team. The Dark Red team does also explore and it kind of expand. The Dark Red team doesn't really expand. The Iranians do expand, however, because they want more land. They also cut the Dark Red team off from expanding anymore. They also discover a little bit of India. They discover a little bit of the Indian area. But the Iranians expand, pretty much just going down like this, immediately cutting off the Dark Red team from any expansion. And I mean, that they don't mind, that's fine with them. So the Iranians, now having access to the sea, are very happy because this boosts their trade with people they are not connected with, like all of the countries over here, and also the light blue team, which is the number 2 power in the world. Speaking of the light blue team, they are also going to begin exploring as well down into the African area. They kind of follow the coast, they don't really go too much inland, they just kind of stick to the coast. And they get to right about here, and then a group of explorers, about 600 explorers, came on this exploration, and only 300 went back. The other 300 kept exploring down south in the African continent. They kept going south until they eventually reached right to about right here, and they decide to set up their own country down here in Africa after about 2 more months of exploring and discovering a lake. Now, since they're the only country down here in Africa currently, they have really nothing to worry about. So we see them pop up and they decide to take this lake over, and they also take a lot of this area down here that was explored by them and the blue team explorers. Now, the blue team has no idea that these guys created their own country down here, so they might eventually find out, by sending more explorers down here to explore, because they assumed that the exploration team actually lost more people than it did, when in reality it didn't. They do explore inland a little, as they do want to expand inland as well, but they primarily stick to the coast because to them currently the coastal areas are more important, as that has currently more value to them than anything else. But they do expand, and after pretty much about 5 months of expansion, and they eventually do find out about the brown team. Uh, since the brown team did expand pretty much up that entire area right there. The brown team, however, ensures that the blue team cannot expand any more southward by cutting them off, and that's exactly what they do. So that is pretty much everything in this video, folks. I hope you really enjoyed the video. If you did, go down below the video, give the video a good old thumbs up, hit that like button. If you did not enjoy the video, you felt the video was too boring, or I just didn't give enough effort into it, you can go ahead and go right next to the like button and hit the dislike button if you did not enjoy the video. Now, I want to say something before I go. My really good friend Ender M. He is also a fellow YouTuber. He does something like me. He has his own What If Civilization Started Over series. He is currently at about 900 subscribers, around that area. I want you guys to go over to his channel and subscribe to him so that we can get him to 1K subscribers. He is a very good buddy of mine, and you might hear me on his live streams if you do go over there. If you are checking him out, I suggest you drop him a subscribe because he is getting so close to that 1K mark, and I really want us to get him there. So please go over to his channel, check him out, and do me a favor and hit the subscribe button on my channel if you enjoy my content and you want to keep seeing me do this, and you also want to be updated whenever I upload. Go ahead and hit that little bell icon, and if you want to go watch him as well, give him a subscribe, get him to that 1K mark. This outro has been way too long. I'm Sean's Mapping, or the Sultanate Empire. I hope you, ladies and gentlemen, have a beautiful rest of your day or night, wherever you may live, wherever you may be. And I'll see y'all in the next video. See ya.